Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I have been working on this video for quite a while, just thinking how I wanted to share this in a way that made sense and in a way that was like systematic, that somebody could easily duplicate what I do. I get a lot of questions about how to get started month-long grocery shopping. So I wanted to break this down into easy steps. So there's 5 steps to getting started with your month-long grocery shopping. First off the bat is your first month, you're not going to get all of your groceries all at one time in one shopping trip. The reason I decided to do it this way was just so that it could be a little more manageable while you're teaching yourself this system and how to month-long grocery shop. So let's just get right into it. I have my notes here so I don't forget anything. And I'm going to try to not make this a super long video. So the very first thing that you're going to do is you are going to sit down and you are going to write out a meal plan for 1 week. That is breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks for 1 week for your family. I like to look at the calendar to see what we have coming up. You're going to include eating out in that. You're going to include like packing dinners for the ball field or whatever you're going to be doing. So you might only need 5 dinners. You might only need 4 dinners. You might need all 7. It just depends on your calendar. So don't forget lunchbox items. Like if your kids are packing their lunches, then you need to write down what they're packing in their lunches. Because that's one of the easy things to forget is kind of some of that stuff. So start with 1 week of breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Write out your meal plan. Then you're going to write down every single thing that you need from the grocery store to do that meal plan. So breakfast, if you always make pancakes, make sure you have the flour and the eggs and the milk and all of that stuff. Write down how many gallons of milk you go through a week. You're just going to write yourself a grocery list and write it all down. Every last ingredient that you need. The third step is you are going to then double that list. So for your first week and your second week of the month, you're going to have the same meal plan twice. So you've already done all the work for the first week. Then I just want you to take those ingredients and double everything that you have on your grocery list. Okay? So once you have all of that done, so now you should have a comprehensive grocery list for 2 weeks worth of breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Then you're going to check your pantry, fridge, and freezers for anything that you already have in the house. So anything that you already have, you can cross off your list. You don't need to get it at the grocery store. Make sure you check pantry, fridge, and freezers, all of them, so that you don't duplicate stuff that you don't need. Then it's finally time, step number 5, to go to the grocery store. So be prepared for it. It really shouldn't take you that much longer to grocery shop because you're just grabbing like double the items. You still have to drive to the store. You still have to shop in the store. It'll take you longer to come home and put the stuff away and that sort of thing. But make sure you have the room in your car, like double the groceries. Make sure you have the room cleared out to bring it all home. And then you might have issues storing that food. If you're only used to grocery shopping once a week, you might have issues storing the food. But there are some creative ways that you can get around that. Generally, everyone's refrigerators have enough room for 2 weeks worth of food. So don't worry about that. That shouldn't be an issue. So we have the first week and the second week covered in the month. Now what you're going to do once the 2 weeks are up, you are going to do those same steps 1 through 5 all over again. You're going to start with 1 week of breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Get the meal plan all down. Get all the ingredients that you need. Double the ingredients. Double your shopping list. Check your pantry, fridge, and freezers for anything that you already have. And then you're going to go grocery shopping. So you're only going grocery shopping twice in your first month. Okay? Hope everyone is still with me at this point. If you need to rewind the video and go back through, totally fine. So that's that takes care of your whole first month. Now when you're getting ready to go grocery shopping your second month, this is where you're only going to go to the store for the bulk of your groceries one time at the beginning of the month. So what you're going to do instead is you are going to, when you sit down to plan, you are going to make a list of 2 weeks worth of breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Okay? Same process, but you're going to do 2 weeks. You're going to write your grocery list. You are going to double that grocery list. You're going to check your pantry, fridge, and freezers for anything that you already have. Then you're going to go to the grocery store once for the bulk of all of those items. I like to go back to the grocery store about once, twice at the most to get some fresh ingredients. So lots of, berries don't last very long. Lettuce doesn't last very long sometimes, but you would be surprised. I mean, bananas don't last very long, but like oranges, apples, carrots, celery, onion, like all of that stuff lasts all month long, no worries. So eggs last a long time. Milk lasts a long time if it's unopened. So I like to just go back like once, maybe twice for some of those fresh ingredients. But you're going to get the bulk of what you need in one shopping trip at the beginning of the month. So this is a 2-month process to kind of get you into the groove of how this system works. Now, I have a couple of tips for you. Make sure that if you do not use some of the meals that you have planned, that you have already bought the groceries for, make sure that you roll those over to your next meal plan because you already have the ingredients for that. You might as well use them, okay? I usually always have, you try to plan as best as you can, but I usually always have a couple of meals that we just didn't get to. Somebody invited us out for dinner, somebody had us over, we had more leftovers than I was anticipating, and there's always a couple of meals left over. So just roll those over to the next meal plan, and then bonus, you have a couple of meals already planned that you don't have to think about. The next tip is if you are having a hard time even coming up with like 7 dinners for your very first week, use theme nights if you need to. So like Meatless Monday, Taco Tuesday, I don't know what a W would be, but I don't know, like Crockpot Wednesday or whatever. Like come up with a theme if you're having a hard time picking out meals and meal planning. It's just easier that way. You can go to Pinterest, you can go to your cookbooks. If your family doesn't mind eating the same thing every week, you can do your 1-week meal plan, times it by 4 and be done. Maybe your family doesn't care. I personally like a lot of variety, so I wouldn't do that. But, if you're having the same stuff anyway, just do it that way and you'll be done you could probably plan in 20 minutes maybe by the time you're all done. Okay, I get this question a lot as well. Here's another tip. How do you keep people out of the food that is like earmarked for certain recipes? There's a section in my pantry that my family knows is off limits because they're being saved for certain things. I'm really the only cook in my house, so like I don't have people getting into like cans of black beans and diced tomatoes and pasta and stuff like that. It's mostly like let's say I need Ritz crackers for a breading for something. I will take like a sleeve of Ritz crackers and I will put it in this specific area of my pantry that the kids know that they can't touch because that is for a recipe of some sort. Okay, same thing like if I need graham cracker crumbs for like a no-bake cheesecake I'm making or something. I'll take a package of graham crackers out, put it in that specific part of the pantry, and then they know that they can't snack on those because I need those for a dessert, okay? So have an area that's off limits, and this isn't to be like mean or controlling or anything, but like that saves you from having to make those little trips to the grocery store because somebody got into something, that they didn't know was saved for a recipe. All right, storing all of this food. You can get quite creative. If you have a really small pantry or you just have cupboards that you're putting stuff in, you can get really creative. You can get boxes to put canned goods underneath your bed. You can use, if you have an extra closet that could be used for food, like let's say in a kid's bedroom or something like that, up high, where you can keep boxes of stuff. You can get pretty creative with where you need to store the food. It doesn't all have to be in your pantry. I store a lot of our food in the basement, even though I have a really big pantry. So get creative with where you're storing stuff. And then also, if your kids are like mine, they just like to hork down all the snacks in like the first 2.5 weeks, and then the last week and a half, they complain that there's nothing to eat. So if you have that problem, or you think you're going to have that problem, again, take half of the snacks, put them away where the kids cannot get into them, and then pull them back out for the second half of the month. That way it's not as tempting to just blow through all your snacks. Or, we have a rule in our house, just so I can keep track of the lunch stuff. Anything like in a little prepackaged, like a granola bar or something like that, those are saved mostly for packing food outside of the house. So all those little like prepackaged things, that way you don't run out before the end of the month when you really need those to pack lunches and such. Okay, the last thing is, if you want to automate this and you want to not think about doing this, like coming up with new meal ideas, new breakfast ideas, that kind of stuff. If your family doesn't care, save that 2-week meal plan and that 2-week grocery list and just automate it. So you can have the same exact meal plan every month and the same exact grocery list every month. If your family doesn't care, then plan once and just continue to use it month after month until you get sick of it and you want to switch it. So I think if you were to really look at your meal plan, I think most people are eating the same things over and over again anyway. And it's just easy to go use those go-to meals that you have that everybody likes, that are easy to make. And so really the only thing that you're doing is writing it down in a systematic way, keeping your grocery list, and then multiplying the ingredients, and then you can month-long grocery shop. It's really not as hard as people think that it is. I think the barrier is like the thinking and the planning part of it, because you're already at the store, you're already picking out the ingredient. Like, you grab 1 can of black beans or you grab 4 cans of black beans. Like, it doesn't really, you're there. It doesn't take that much more time to do it this way. Okay, I think that was all of my tips for you. I really hope that this was helpful for you. I've put a lot of thought into this about how I could explain this systematically and give you an actual system that you can follow, because it's such a time saver, it's a money saver, it's a gas saver with gas prices. You're not running to the grocery store as much. And for me, it is like a mental burden taken off of my plate that I only have to think about it once. And then I know that I have dinner planned for the entire month for my family. It's the mental burden of that, I think, that people do not like. That's why cooking dinner is such a drudgery chore and grocery shopping is such a chore, because so much thought has to go into it. So I hope that this system is helpful for you. I hope that you will try it. Please let me know in the comments if you do, because I really love to teach people this system, because it has helped me out so much in staying more organized and providing healthy meals for my family every single day. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!